Hi, my name's Nick Blair, and today I'm doing a project for my class in urban geography of cities, the spatial aspects of it, at San Diego State University. I will be going over the area of Palos Verdes today and how it looks and the original founding area of it. Right now I'm in the main center where the city hall is, and right behind me is the Neptune statue. The city of Palos Verdes was originally bought by Frank Vanderbilt in 1910 and was built in terms of its spatial usages by Frederick Olmsted, who also created New York, Central Park in New York. Overall, Palos Verdes is a very affluent city, very wealth-oriented, and is overall very, very pretty. And of course, with the more natural area that you have, the more expensive it will be, as you can already tell by this gigantic fountain. Overall, Palos Verdes is a very nice community to be in, but there are aspects of it that do come to question when you think about an area with such high affluence. Like, is the actual living here worth it? For some, they would say yes, others would say no. And one nice thing about living in Palos Verdes is that, well, I don't live in Palos Verdes, I live in Torrance. I'm just doing this for a project. The nice thing about Palos Verdes is that it has an Italian feel, and that's why Frank Vanderbilt came to this area. If you look behind me, you can kind of tell the kind of architecture that they use here. It's very, very interesting, and I like it. Why not come live in this beautiful area? So Frederick Olmsted was a part of the City Beautiful movement, and that kind of aimed at integrating the different types of natural wildlife that you see here in terms of trees. Originally in Palos Verdes, it was overrun with eucalyptus, and one thing you should know is eucalyptus is not native to Palos Verdes. It's native to Australia, and you might ask, why would they put eucalyptus in a non-native area? Well, because it looked nice, and that's basically why. So I'm going to pause this video, and I'm going to show you an area where transportation is very important from coming in and out of Palos Verdes. And welcome back. So this road you see right here is PV Drive West. This road is very integral to the transportation of cars. As you can see, there's people around here already. That little intersection right there, where you see that little Ford coming through, yeah, let me see if I can point to it. This area right here. There's a strip of land that goes from here all the way back to where I was at Neptune's Tower. And that used to be a trolley for the local area to residents to get to the beaches or get to places that need to be. But because Olmsted wanted Palos Verdes to be more nature connected, the idea of the trolley kind of went out. So they put in a little walkway here. And this walkway is to make people more connected. And one of the statistics for Palos Verdes is that 28% of the local area is actually for open spaces. And right now, as you can see, this whole area is open space. That whole area from there, that goes all the way down, is open space. And this whole area is open space. And that's why you see these beautiful houses. And because with the more open space you have, the more fun you can basically have. Right over there is a part of the nature conserve where they build a little, well, not little, it's freaking large as hell. They build a trail all along the coastline where the locals will usually walk. In terms of the peak land value, you're going to find this normally around the Donald Trump course, and the Donald Trump course in the Terranea area, and that's all the way that way. Value intersect. The Donald Trump golf course and the Terranea area are basically the places where there's a central business district. And over there, the land value is pretty high. Actually, really high. That's why you see a lot of wealthy people over by the Donald Trump area. They usually have I'm forgetting the term here. Non-basic activities. Barbershops, gardeners, maybe little restaurants here and there. And if you look right through there, there's a trail. And a lot of people around this area do like to hike. And one thing you can definitely tell is that this road is very important for the transportation of people. And this is how people are getting in and out. Yeah, the purpose of Palos Verdes was supposed to be a residential community based off a Central Park kind of mentality where you have big open fields like this coming all the way through. And people like that kind of stuff. You got to connect people back to nature and make it more civilized. But I can tell you, this area is considered a periphery of Los Angeles. It tries to get you that country feel, and I think it does a pretty good job of it. Welcome back. So the area that I'm in right now is the lighthouse. It's a pretty cool spot. So let's give you some of the history here. You see those islands over there? Those are Catalina. Whales would oftentimes come through here. And as I mentioned earlier, Portuguese fishermen would come through here and actually fish them. And that's why the road right above there, in that area, has the nickname the Portuguese Bend Road. But one thing to know about this area is that in World War II, bunkers were established in the hillsides, right? In this area, not where those houses are, but like where this building's at, you can't even see them like over the building. Basically, the land use changed. They went from residential uses to military uses. And because of that, the natural area got destroyed a bit. This area that I'm at right now used to be a sniper military training field. You see in the distance right over there, that area people used to practice. But now, as you can tell, it's changed. It's beautiful. And that's because PV has the money to spare to make places like this, to basically reserve it and make it nice. But one of the issues, however, in Palos Verdes is that the geological structure is changing. During some of the construction in PV, with the use of dynamite and the blowing of a water pipe, the clay that's underneath the area, so let's say this is the little layers of PV, the deep layer, like down into the earth, have been soaked because due to the explosions of clay on the Crenshaw Road, it is now causing land movements constantly. And when earthquakes happen in this area, the land's unstable and will oftentimes succumb to landslides. And there's a section over yonder, over that area, where the housing is cheaper due to the dangers of living there. But another interesting fact about Palos Verdes is that there are peacocks here. Out of all things, why would there be peacocks in Palos Verdes? Because they're beautiful. And because rich people wanted them. Rich people wanted an area because rich people thought like, oh yeah, non-native birds that are normally native to India, that'd be cool to have in Palos Verdes, so they brought them over. The geography of PV is very Italian, as you can see. That's what most people say, at least. It's very Italian. It's actually very much Mediterranean type climate here, and that's why a lot of people like coming and walking around here and living here, and that's why it's also so expensive and not many people actually know about Palos Verdes. But one thing to know about it is that it's very, in terms of ethnic, it's very white. Palos Verdes is white, very, very, very white, and that's because it's during the 1910 and 1920s. It was shown to middle class people like, oh hey, come live in Palos Verdes. This is the area you want to be in. And as you can see the houses up there, it worked. People came out here. Rich, affluent, white people came out here, but that's changed. Different kind of cultures that Asian Americans live out. This area is essence of capitalism, and the nuclear family oriented. And little gesture to what I learned in urban geography is that from a feminist perspective, this lighthouse could technically represent a phallic symbol and boost my male ego, even though it's just to prevent us from hitting those rocks. But technically, it's honestly pretty funny. Anyway, so I thought that was, yeah. It was started by a rich, affluent white man, which now I'm saying that doesn't sound so strange because Torrance was also started by oil companies that aimed for money. So I guess money is the defining factor of the livability of a city. I guess I just kind of nailed it there. Anyways, that kind of got me sad. But Palos Verdes originally wanted was to be a residential community. Got influenced by World War I and World War II, which stopped the construction. And due to this stoppage of construction, the area put in bunkers. And when construction started up again after World War II, due to the explosion of pipes and the use of dynamite on the Crenshaw Road, it made the ground unstable, causing landslides in the local area and constant land movements, which then shows the inadequate of understanding the local environment. But things have changed for Palos Verdes. They are taking an extra step to being more nature-oriented and preserve the natural area and conserve. And I think that's a very important step. But then, of course, in terms of concepts of sustainability and preserving areas for the future generation, it will be expensive. So, of course, the area like this is where you would see the conservation of natural places. But with that being said, if any place is going to be sustainable and preserve resources for the future generation, it's got to start with the more affluent people. Because if it starts with the more affluent people, I'm not going to say it's like going to trickle down, but more people are going to notice the actual effects that it has on terms of people's overall livability. Because when you see this whole area, it's beautiful. People want to live here. But when you think about greening a city, people don't want to use that because it's a different kind of land usage. So the land usage here is different from the land usage in LA. That's why people come here, because it's like a country aesthetic. I'm just rambling now, I'm sorry.